Man, it is cold out there. It is so cold. All right, so it looks like Uber is actively doing what's called wage discrimination using the algorithm. We should talk about it. Hi, my name is Levi. This is the Daily Drive. Today's Daily Drive is brought to you by Tonquin. With Tonquin, you can deliver car parts from auto part suppliers to repair shops. See, with Tonquin, it works just like any other gig app, but instead of taking people or food, you're taking car parts. And it's great because you can work with two businesses that are eager to make the transaction happen. Like, there's no sitting around and waiting. The minute that part is ordered, trust me, the auto repair shop needs that part. And they pay good. I've done it. It works between like 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. for me here in my market in Syracuse. So the team at Tonquin, they're great. Please click on the link below and let the team at Tonquin know that Levi from Tipping the App sent you. Ben Ray over at the novaramedia.com, I think I got that right. His title says that Uber's boss makes shocking admission over algorithmic wage discrimination. He said the quiet part out loud, talking about Dara. So here's the quote. Uber's CEO admitted that the company changes its drivers' pay based upon behavioral patterns after years of denial and controversial policy, which has been called algorithmic wage discrimination. Okay, now the word discrimination sounds really bad, and it could be bad. I'm not defending Uber. I'm just going to put some ideas out here for us to talk about. When I hear discrimination, I think about things like, oh, they're going to pay men more than women, right? So sexual discrimination or race discrimination. We're going to pay Asian drivers more than, Hispanic drivers or something, whatever. And that's illegal and wrong. And if that's happening, Uber's got to pay for that. But this discrimination is a little bit different from what I could tell. So, for example, it talks about kind of like paying drivers for behavioral patterns. And that's different, right? A behavior pattern is something like you accept all the rides. If your acceptance rate's really high, that's a behavior. And Uber might pay you more or prioritize your trips over a driver that has like a 2% acceptance rate and insists around and cherry picks. I don't know what they're paying for yet. I just know that's what they're talking about here, these behavioral patterns. And that's not illegal, at least to the best of my knowledge. It could be, but I don't think it is. And so if there's a behavioral pattern that Uber is paying for, discriminating against, or whatever it might be, it behooves us as drivers to pay attention to that, understand it if we can, and then try to benefit off of it. So they don't tell us what those behavior patterns are, but we can make some reasonable assumptions. Right? A good example is your status. My assumption would be that Uber is going to prioritize rides and pay diamond drivers more than maybe a blue driver or whatever the lowest tier is. And here's why I would know that. Number one, I got paid more, right? I bought a Tesla. I'm sitting in it right here. And they said, hey, if you buy a Tesla and you're a diamond driver, we're going to give you $2,000. Oh, and if you're a gold driver and you buy a Tesla, we're only going to give you $1,000. And that means if you're a blue, whatever the lowest tier is, then you're not going to get anything. So it's clear they're trying to discriminate and pay diamond drivers more. That's just one example. My assumption would be that Uber wants us to be diamond drivers, right? Because we have to have a high diamond or a high star rating. We have to have a high acceptance rate, and we have to have a low cancellation rate. Now, having a low or having numbers that are not congruent with that, like if you have a low star rating and you don't accept a lot of trips and you have a high cancellation rate, you can still drive for Uber. They just may not pay you as much. They may not prioritize trips to you. And I don't think that's necessarily wrong if that's happening. Again, I don't know if that's happening. I can't tell. The article doesn't really say. It just says that Uber wants to reward, right, pay, or compensate based upon behavioral patterns. One of the examples that they talk about in this discrimination is this idea for the riders, right? And we don't know if this is true or not, but they say, like, if your battery's running low and you're at the airport, you might get charged more for your trip, right, than a rider that has a battery that's full. And I don't know. So the pricing mechanisms is what we're talking about. And so this always me this thought process of, like, Uber is going to try and compensate or pay people based upon what they need, not what I need. They're going to do what they need. And what does Uber really need? Well, in a perfect world, I would assume Uber needs good drivers and good cars on every corner, ready to go, right? So a high acceptance rate. A good driver would be a high rating, right? A 5-star rating or something like that. A veteran driver, potentially. So I'm thinking, like, what are the things that I can do to benefit Uber? I think being a diamond driver benefits Uber. So that means Uber most likely may actually find ways to compensate me more or give me more trips. And I don't think that's unfair. Right? And you could go to any job or any place of employment. Let's go to the one that we can all relate with. Should Patrick Mahomes get paid the same as another quarterback, maybe on a losing team? I don't know, Nick Foles or whoever. I don't know, whatever junk quarterback is out there in the league. Baker Mayfield. Of course, Patrick Mahomes should get paid more. He's performing better. He's doing what the Kansas City Chiefs need. And you're like, well, that's a performance. Well, that's what being a 5-star driver means. That's a performance. It's a performance metric. And Uber gets to stipulate what they think the performance metric is. I don't get to stipulate it. They do. And they're telling us what that performance metric is. Another one here for Uber drivers, and it works with Lyft too. I don't even agree with it, but I will get paid off of it. They want us to be EV drivers. They want us to drive electric. So they're going to pay electric drivers more. Like, Uber pays me $1 more for being in an EV. I don't see how that benefits anybody. But Uber has prioritized that. So I should, right, want to be in an EV. So all this is being said, I guess what I'm getting to is this idea of, like, they're not my boss, but they're the ones scheduling the rides. They're telling us a lot of things that they want, what they want out of the drivers. It just behooves me to pay attention and try to do that. When Uber says, hey, here's a $60 quest for 60 rides, my assumption is they want us to take a lot of short trips, so don't take long trips. When they have bonuses at certain times of night, hey, $1 for every trip at this time of night, well, they want me to drive at that time of night. When they give out benefits to diamond drivers, hey, we'll give you $2,000 for an EV if you buy a Tesla or whatever. They're just telling us what they want. Yeah, Uber and Lyft could get a lot better at this. Just be clear. Just tell us what your algorithm is all about, and I'm sure more drivers would try to match that. The fact that they're masking it means it's kind of shady, and I agree with that. I wish they were just more clear. Hey, we're going to pay diamond drivers more, or if even though you're farther away, we're going to give the ride to a diamond driver. And I'm using diamond, but whatever the criteria is, that's just one that I know about. So here's my thing for you. Go look at what Uber wants of their drivers. What do they want? If you can, if it's profitable for you, become a diamond driver. I'm not saying you should. I'm not even trying to become a diamond driver. I just happen to live in a market where I can take a lot of trips. I take a lot of short trips. So, yeah, you do you, and see if becoming... let me rephrase that. Try to see what Uber wants from us. Go read the terms and conditions. Go look what they prioritize. And if you can do any one of those things, do them. Do them. And you might get paid more. That's wage discrimination, not discriminating against race or gender or religion, because that's illegal and that's immoral. But paying people higher more to do what they want you to do, that's kind of how all jobs work, right? And I'm not an employee, but it is a job. I want to give a shout out to VOOM, the other show sponsor. Hey, VOOM is great rideshare insurance. What VOOM does is you pay for only the private insurance that you need. See, for example, I drive 30, 40 hours a week right now in my car, and only 2 hours a week do I drive privately. I'm almost exclusively a rideshare driver. But my private insurance rate covers my car the entire time. So I'm getting double the insurance. I'm getting Uber and Lyft to pay for my insurance, and I'm having to pay for private insurance. With VOOM, you only pay for the private insurance when you're not on the app. It's really easy. You just go to their website, click on the link below, let the team at VOOM know that I sent you here at Levi tip you in the app. And if you do that, just link your 2 apps and they'll give you a quote. They're available in Colorado, Tennessee, Arizona, and Nevada right now. There could be more states coming soon too. It's really good if you're a big full-time type of driver, or even if you're driving more than 20 hours a week. Drivers are saving upwards of 60% on their private insurance. VOOM, rideshare insurance, go check them out. Be well, be safe. Bye.